goes to my Twitch. The main one we do is I should have put it in here. The main one that people tend to go to is. Oh my god! Let me just pull it up. Thank you that way. That's the main one that everyone goes to. That'll be the main one generally. But yeah, it goes to that. It goes to that Twitch, my YouTube, Couch Squad YouTube, and I send it out to Facebook for what it's worth too. Let their algorithms see what they want to do with it. Cool things.
Mom, hi, I'm on TV.
The cool thing with the cool things with StreamYard, Reload Player.
Yeah, it allows you to do that.
Has it gone live? Did it go? Okay, it did go live. Okay, cool.
Also, your wallpaper.
As the link.
What the link is showing, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I plugged them because I grabbed it off Google, so I don't want to get copyright. Cool. I have a plan to fix it up one day, but it's like, oh well.
Today is not that day.
Today's not that day. Let me.
That shit.
Excellent. And grab that and go do that and do this. Twits.tv. Pings the Discord. Blip. It sounds quiet. That's Streamlot. That's all good. Discord's pinged. You can still hear me, yeah?
Yep.
It's like really quiet. Like I don't. You have a really good noise gate. I don't hear anything out of your mic when you're not talking. It's like.
It's fucking.
It's like,
I mean,
it's like I'm alone.
I'm using the Rode Pod mic. It's fantastic. It's got the built-in pop filter. I mean, I'm just using like my noise gate isn't even that high. It's only on like 0.6.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
Great. Yeah.
They're pretty good for podcasting. They're pretty good for podcasting, aren't they? Because I got the Audio Technica. I think that's another pretty good range to have. The Audio Technica. They've got. Yeah, both them brands are pretty good.
The ATs are pretty good. I'm a big fan of I've always been a big fan of Rode in general. I've loved their equipment for because I used to work with stage gear and there's lots of very familiar with the brand, which has always helped.
That's all good. I'm kind of half ready now. Let's give a few more minutes for people to trickle in. Hello, everyone. Totally winging it tonight. Just totally winging it. Who needs run sheets?
Run sheets for the week. We're doing it live. It's fine.
Hey guys, how are we? Hello, Maz. Hello, Mr. Brad.
Pre-show warm up.
The pre-show warm up. Yep.
Actually, speaking of warm up, I need to drink my 3-day-old water. Get that going in me.
Change of plans. It's just me and Puppiez tonight. Like literally, the guys just like started dropping like flies. Yeah. It was like one abandoned me, and then the next one. I don't want to say the word abandoned. They've got stuff going on, so it's okay. But the first one abandoned me.
I've intimidated the entire cast.
Yeah.
Without even getting on here.
The entire cast was intimidated before you even got on.
I know,
and I'm like, and with an hour to go, I'm like trying to prep the.
I'm really a nice guy.
Actually, let me. I'll just
scary.
Now that you mentioned bottle, I'm gonna go grab a bottle myself, and then I'll be good. Hang on.
Yeah, cool. So, chat, while I've got you alone and Gav's left the room, all your podcasts belong to us. This is mine now. It's all mine. It's taken over. Plant my water bottle as a claim. It's even purple. It matches the background. We're good. Say all the things. Gav smells.
It's true.
Like roses. Oh, he's got headsets on. Oh, God.
Yes, I could hear the whole time.
No! Foiled! Son of a bitch!
Dear. Maz, do you want to ping in a few other Discords to me that I've may have forgotten? I don't know. To be honest,
sword, Maz.
this is a short. I think I told you this is a short turnaround for us because we only just did our last one on Thursday or something.
Yeah, that's right. I remember. I think you mentioning that you were like that weekly changer always means like
a
short turnover for some, which is fine. It's
So I said to the guys, I said, all right, no, we'll just do this. We'll just do it consistently now. Same time every time. And we can just learn.
Consistency, and they're out. They're gone.
We can learn.
Consistency? No, fuck that. We're gone.
I felt it was. I'm still learning too, but it was funny. It was funny watching Whippy like handle it last week solo. I don't know if you had a chance to listen, but he even admitted like he was so nervous.
Yeah.
Like as you do, he missed a couple of things. It's like you've forgot some introductions, and he was like he kind of like jumped straight into the show without kind of like doing the highlights, and he like threw. He was just a learning curve. It was just funny to watch.
I remember actually. You know, to be honest, man, like even after my like 50th episode, I was still missing topics and screwing up the intro, and it just becomes part of it, right? Like there's that weird kind. I mean, you get the really polished professional podcasts; they sound really good and they remember everything. But there's something characteristic about just that podcast jank when you forget stuff and you just bye. I live like in Hoon Central. It's ridiculous.
I heard that.
Yeah. I have like people doing burnouts like on the corner outside my house all the time.
Hey, that's free After Effects.
Yeah, exactly.
It's probably just
Wait,
me.
who the hell's Benny, Maz? Who's Benny?
I guess I could quickly on Twitter. Yeah, actually go on to Twitter. Hang on.
On to Twitter, I'm there. Give me a handle. I'll fight them for supremacy.
I think it's Benny. I've known him since the beginning of like my Arc days. He doesn't stream. He's just like a gamer. I'll just link you. Benny G the Jet. He actually lives. He's another Queensland boy.
Another Queenslander. Benny G the Jet.
It's the resemblance.
I don't see it, but that's me. I'm biased.
Oh, I can actually. I do hear it in the voice. I see what you're meaning in the voice. I can hear similarities in the voice. Yeah.
So I cannot speak to that. Hi Twitch? Where's? Oh, there you are.
Yeah, you do know StreamYard captures all the chat from all everywhere, eh? So if you go to the StreamYard tab and in the comments, it'll pull all the chat from everywhere.
Oh, that's the comments there, right? Oh no, I just had it up because it also darkens the screen. Because watch this, ready?
Tag him in the chat, Mez.
There you go. Look, I can go full anime. Just goes fucking bright as shit, and it like brings out my pale, pasty skin. So I leave a dark screen on, so I look slightly tan.
Tag him in the Facebook chat if you want, Maz. All right. Well, I'll wing the start. So before we start, it's just me and Puppiez tonight. So we'll see how we go. Don't be kind. It's the first time hosting solo, so no pressure. And
be as mean as you want.
I haven't played a lot of these games.
Well, neither have I. Look, it's gonna be fine. Look, I've got games to talk about that you're gonna hate, by the way. So it's gonna be fun.
All right, here we go. In 3, 2, and 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to episode 7 of the Couch Squad podcast. My name is Mr. Nightlife. I am your host this evening, and I am joined by our fantastic guest tonight, Puppiez. How are you, mate?
Good, man. Good. It's a little lonely this week. I think I've scared some people off. But
yes, it is a little bit. It is a bit lonely this week. We've had to. I've had to scramble last minute. All my co-hosts have obviously been intimidated by you and gotten scared, and by one, they've all kind of run off in the last few hours, and I'm left prepping the show an hour before, all by me lonesome. But here we are.
Good times. It's the eyebrows. They get people every time. It's like, no, not the eyebrows. I can't handle it.
Yeah. So yeah, no Whippy tonight, no Boo Boo, no Trish. They've all got some. Long story short, they've all got some IRL stuff going on. So, and they did kind of all drop off one by one. So yeah, I was just quickly having. I just got home from work and I'm getting all these. Obviously, the news they couldn't come on, so I'm like quickly had me shower and rushed me dinner, and I'm prepping all the extra show notes, seeing what other things I had to cover, and we made it. So
yeah, I just got rolled up to my computer and just saw like 10 Discord notifications. But oh god, what's gone wrong?
Looking forward to learning a bit about you, mate. I'm just going to get done with the boring intro stuff that people like me to get out of the way. I'll get the important announcement out of the way first for everyone listening. I know we've had some short turnarounds with some of the episodes. We had a special episode with our Gamescom episode. We just had episode 6 done on Thursday, which obviously goes to the audio platforms on Friday. And now we're here doing a live stream version on Monday, which will come to the audio platforms on tomorrow. So the reason for that is just due to my nature of my work being shift work. The days and nights which I have off constantly change. So that's why we had Whippy host last week to give him some practice. So we've decided to keep it consistent now. So Mondays will be the new day that we do our live recordings. That seems to work best for everyone. And on those days that I can't rock up, Whippy will take the reins, which means our audio versions will go out on a Tuesday once edited. So Mondays live recordings, and then Tuesdays audio platforms. So that'll have a bit of consistency. It'll save us changing the show times around every couple months. So yeah. And then the other bits and pieces, as always, guys, no matter where you are listening, please leave a like, comment, or review, or all that good stuff. And I think last week we said share it with your brother and sister. This time I think we should share it with your favorite dog. Show the episode to your puppy and see how they react to it. Yeah,
we need this.
I think that is just about it for the reminders. Highlights tonight. So what we got coming up? We actually have a lot. Even though it's only been 4 days, there's always something going on in Game Pass centric world. So, Craftopia has been surprising some people, and people are enjoying this like 6 games combined into one. I reckon you're gonna like this one. I think you're gonna like this one. So, can you see what you think about it? The No Man's Sky Frontiers update. We'll have a bit of a chat about that one. Surgeon Simulator 2. I seen like some person bowl a bowling ball and the 10 pins was someone's head like 10 times. So, but that's Surgeon Simulator 2 apparently. So, yeah.
Told me already. Done.
We'll have a chat about that one. Fallout 76, the Season 6 trailer. Probably one of the most exciting things, the 343. I don't know if you saw this one. 343 replied to the Halo flight test. So they submitted the response to everyone's feedback. So I guess we're gonna have to take a look at that. And then just games coming out this week. So not a huge lineup. It all sounds busy, but it's relatively light because we want to learn a little bit about Puppiez as well. Which I think we might do that first. We're going to change up the rhythm today. We always do the games and stuff.
Put the pressure on me straight away, why don't you? Thanks.
So let's just start with a brief introduction, mate. Kind of everyone, for those listening, like who are you?
See, that's normally the question I ask. I'm not used to being on the other side of
but
this.
you taught me. My first ever podcast episode was on your show, so I'm just learning from the master, mate.
Oh, yeah, the master. Okay, cool. Anyway, hi. I'm Puppiez, obviously. I host a podcast called Two Left Thumbs, where I find people throughout the gaming world, generally other content creators, people working in the industry. So I've been speaking to sound designers, QA testers, voice actors, just not a few community managers as well. But I try to avoid community managers a little bit because I want to hear the stories from people that are actually really like working on the guts of the game, because I don't think they get enough attention, and it's really interesting to shine a light on them and what they like to do, and what kind of inspires them to create the games and the worlds that you're in. And so that's what it's been about for a while. We used to do a similar thing to this, as you guys do now, where we kind of cover the weekly news, what's coming up in games and deals and that kind of stuff, and kind of changed tack about 30, 40 episodes ago, and I've been having an absolute blast with it. But yeah, we do that every week. I spend most of my week scrambling to find guests, and I get them on and put them in a corner and say, tell me about your life. And that's pretty well what I do.
You've interested some interesting people, though. I think a few episodes ago, oh my god, I'm gonna have a blue here. Tribes of Midgard. You interviewed the community manager for that game. Is that right?
Sydney was Sydney was fantastic. Yeah, so she was the community manager for Tribes of Midgard. Her first job as a community manager as well, which was really sensational to hear about. Like kind of going from like not being really in the gaming industry to like where she is now in this game that's kind of went from an indie to published by is it 2K? Published at 2K?
I think so. We'll say yes. So? We'll say so. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Anyway, it's going to be a published supported game by quite a decent developer. They've kind of been like a little indie darling of like the PlayStation side of things, so they're not on Xbox as of yet. And it was a really interesting story, and they're the kind of stories I like to see. You know, I spoke to a bloke from Brazil who was a sound designer, Fabry, who was fantastic. I mean, for the most part, you've been on the show. Like, we went to talk about podcasting and ended up talking about the logistics of food delivery for 45 minutes, which is also a great example because people get worried, right? And they're like, oh, I don't want to go off track. You know, let's talk about games. I said, look, I had this guy on. We talked about food delivery, so we're good. Like, we can go anywhere with this, and it's fine. And it's about finding the things that people love, even if it isn't in gaming, because I think that kind of gives you a look at a different perspective on people, right? Because, you know, there's always like the people behind the accounts, and there's like, oh, we're tweeting this, and it's all about games. You learn just that there's a little slice about their lives that may affect the way they do things in the gaming industry, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree, and I've obviously, as you know, I caught a few of your episodes as well, and it's been fantastic. It really is fantastic here, like just listening to different avenues of gaming from different people. I did listen to the one to do with the sound designer, and I think the last one that I caught up to was he was an indie developer for museum games, wasn't it?
Matt's was great. He has a little game called Apollo, the co-op game. So it's like an isometric educational space game, which is really cool, where like one of you's in a spaceship and then 3 other people have to read you out instructions. You have to solve a problem to kind of land the shuttle, which I thought was really cool. I'm yet to kind of play it. There's a Whippy below me. Hello.
Yeah. Sorry, just to interrupt that. Whippy has scrambled. Whippy, thank goodness I'm not alone. How are you, mate? Sorry to...
I had a huge day, so this could be interesting. I threw on a rain show. I was like, "Yeah, okay, we're good."
he's probably sitting there in his undies on the live stream.
I promise.
Went to work at 6 o'clock.
Who's wears pants and podcasts anyway? You don't see from like here down. Like I could wear a midriff shirt and be fine.
Yeah, but my luck is I'd probably stand up and be like, "Oh, whoops, podcast cancelled."
Before you got out the gate.
Going back to your earlier thought though, like you are right, like, and that was why I was very nervous. Obviously, kind of kickstart the podcast, and you invited me on to kind of lose my virginity in podcasting, so to speak. And as you know, I was worried. Like, oh, what are we going to talk about for so long? And man, an hour just flies. You just start a conversation, and you just don't know where it goes. And yeah, you end up talking about anything. And like even our last episode. Yeah, so I was saying even our last episode. Even our last episode, we I think our episode went for like an hour and 40 minutes, and I was like, but the time flew. I looked at the clock and I went, my God, like where did that time go?
I remember I was on a podcast with Puppiez. It was last year or something. It was before I moved, and I had the most potato internet. And I think I spent most of the podcast trying to actually get into Discord properly. It was ridiculous. I had to like say 3 things. And I was like, goodbye. Yeah. Good old potato net. Potato
net's always good. That's been an interesting challenge too, especially when you start doing more frequent guests, and not all of them have, you know, amazing internet or Discord for that matter. And you're like, all right, so you got to kind of choose a different way to attack that. And I mean, I know you guys are using StreamYard. I'm all in with Zencaster at the moment, which is just so good. Having separate audio tracks, so you can fix
we've got that
like
with StreamYard. It's fantastic.
It's
fantastic.
But yeah, like I've always find the first 15 minutes so nerve-wracking with any guest, right, or any podcast, because you're like there's still now for me that like, what are we gonna talk about? What are we gonna talk about? Where's this gonna go? Where's it gonna lead? And at about that 15-20 minute mark, you know how long the show's gonna go for. You know, there's Whippy's undies.
Yeah, he was in his boxer shorts. He had boxer shorts on, so I was really close.
Get out of
it. But yeah, once you get past that 20-minute mark, you know exactly what's happening. You've kind of got a vibe, and you're like, okay, this podcast, I can almost guess it now on how long the cast is going to go for, based on the first 15 minutes of conversation. Which is fun. You know, it's a fun little guessing game. It also distracts me from the absolute soul-wracking nerves I get in those, like, talking to strangers, because it can go anywhere. It's usually pretty good though. So
last week messed me up. Hey, like I've been
we spoke about you.
I've been streaming for however long now, and I don't ever get nervous. Like, I'm very open. I'll just jump into things head first, think of the consequences later, sort of thing. And last week, for some reason, like, Nightlife was like, all right, now go. I was like, I can't do this. It was so nerve-wracking. I don't know why. As soon as we started, I was fine. But just that first bit, I was like, and I think it's because of the guest too. That half made me nervous to begin with. Hosting my first little thing.
Was that Diana? You guys had
her? We had Diana. Yeah,
she was
great.
chill.
I had her a while back. She's a fantastic talk to. She's just so passionate, which makes things a lot easier. But yeah, honestly, I was still like that at episode like 80, trying to run the show still. So you're fine. It doesn't get any easier. It's a struggle here. From like here on, you're good.
Yay! Can't wait.
What kind of got you into the podcasting scene, mate?
I have to solely blame Static Oz. Shout out. He was the original creator of Two Left Thumbs. Him and Dawn of the Dan were just two mates. Wanted to chat about video games, and then I went, sod it, we'll do a podcast. And then Static and we'd known each other for a while through streaming. And I'd just moved to Mixer, and he'd just moved to Mixer. He said, look, I've got this podcast. I'd been listening to it for a while as well. And he's like, I'd love you to come on and talk about your experiences with Mixer, why you moved over, all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, sure, why not? And so they had me on, and I never left. I've been here ever since. I don't know, man. I just really enjoy it. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. It kind of got its claws in me fairly hard and fast. And like the next week, they're like, look, would you like to come on as a permanent guest? I'm like, as a permanent host. I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And it just kind of took off from there. And since then, you know, I've been on lots of other podcasts. I haven't started a second one yet, so I'm not totally addicted yet. I don't know if I have the time for a second one. I don't even know what I do. That's a whole other thought I've been talking about lately.
Actually, I was funny you talk about second ones. I was even not that I was. I think I'm the same boat. Like even I know I've only just started this one, but like it makes me like I enjoy like the interviews that we've been doing. But the problem with the not so much the problem, but obviously I'm not a fan of like really long like episodes. And when you're trying to do like news type podcasts, and then obviously factor in your guests as well, that they can end up being quite lots of what I did think about the idea. I was like, what if I had my own little side podcast, just me, where it's like kind of interview just anyone really, just have a chat. And I'm like, oh, do I really have the time for that? But you know, and then like even Trish and Bibi that have been on the show, like even they've got an idea of doing. I kind of told you off stream that person has autism, so she's thought about doing something around like autism or mental health or that kind of thing. So like, I lost
like
you.
Like, more educational casts like that, I think would be fantastic.
Yeah,
it's a good way, because again, it's like it's passive content, right? So like you can like, and it's passive on both ends. Like you produce a podcast, you put it out there and gone, boom, send it, done. Don't have to think about it again till next week. The listener gets it, and then just boom in their ears. They don't have to be. I have to be sitting down. I don't have to be, in front of a screen. I can just plug it in my ears and go. Do it in small bits. Do it in one large sitting. No way driving, and I think that's what's so great about it is. It's just it's you're there. You don't have. It's not like streaming. You have to. We're going to be there 3 days a week, 5 hours a day. I've got to do all this networking. And I was speaking to someone else about this on my guest for this week. Mr. Bad Bit. There you go. Small teaser. Spoiler. And he's been running the podcast trophy podcast for like 4 years, 5 years.
Okay.
And we were having the same discussion where it's like, you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about YouTube so much. You just throw it out there and let the audio gods just have at it. And the people that are there listening to the podcast are there for the podcast. Like you look at like YouTube attention span, it's like you can get 5 minutes out of someone if you're lucky, and then it starts to drop off.
Actually, just on that thought, real quick, you're almost spot on. I watched the interview. I watched an interview with. I don't know if you watched the Buzzsprout YouTube videos much or not. They're one of the pod. They did an interview with someone, and they were speaking about the statistics around went for about an hour, and it was around the statistics to do with like YouTube and reading of blogs and podcasts, and they spoke about the fact that of how many podcasts are on. I think there's about 2 to 4 million. They said it's still quite young in the space. Anyway, so they said the based on a 30-minute video, only 19% will make it through the entire video. Off a blog post, they said the average was about a 4-minute read time, and I don't know if you know this or not, but I found it interesting. The podcast episodes, 95% make it through an entirety of an episode, which makes sense because you I guess when you think about it, with an audio episode, like I said, I think I tweeted out, like I was tuning into one of your episodes at the gym, like just while doing my workout. I can't be watching YouTube videos or really doing much reading while I'm trying to lift me weights. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, like I said, it's passive, and like most people will get through an episode quite easily. And I think I found as well, like just looking at analytics, I don't know if you've looked at yours much, but what's really interesting is the age range. So with most like video style gaming kind of content, you're looking at people in their 20s, right? And what I've noticed is with the podcast platform in particular, you're getting people at 25 to 40, and nothing below that. So it's for us old fogies. But
our statistics are hard to measure really at this stage. Our statistics
are still fairly young. Yeah,
we're still young, but it's also I think for us as well, we have a very strong live presence as well. I think, and now that we've obviously chosen a set night that will be live every week, so we generally on a good night we've hit around that kind of 20 mark on the live streams. For Twitch, we've only just started the restream aspect with StreamYard, but then we obviously got the VOD aspects as well. So, we obviously break up the video of the episode into its own segment. So, for example, when we did the episode around Flight Simulator, I broke up that portion of the episode into its own video for YouTube, threw it on my channel. And that little video got its own, I think it was like 200 views or something like that. So it's obviously a lot more work, but it's just maximizing the potential, I guess, customers you can, I guess not customers, but listeners you can reach.
Yeah, that's it. Like even throwing like a little, like we do like every week when I do up the episode, I have like a little clip from the show. And normally that'll see a few hundred people. And that's really cool because I mean they may not click through. They probably won't. Twitter's really hard to convert to
very
content. But people.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a platform that you find works for you to kind of promote your podcast?
Not really. I've always kind of I haven't messed around with too much. Like I said, I just kind of put it out there and let it go. I do like the Twitter and the Instagram stuff. Twitter's always been a stronger suit for me. Just because I've been on there for so long within the game community, so I know a lot of people, and so it kind of gets out that way. I've made lots of connections like with you guys and a whole heap of other content creators to kind of get where we're going with this, and they kind of enjoy the same kind of content as well. So Twitter's always been my favorite. social platform. I did download TikTok today though.
Puppies on TikTok.
Yeah, I know, right?
I find TikTok a hard space.
What the handle is yet though.
I'm kind of the same boat as you. I'm more Twitter focused. I try Instagram. I just struggle to be on Instagram. It's not that I hate it. It's just time, really. It's just time. Like I guess I spend more of my time on Twitter. Same as you. I try and throw the podcast up on Instagram. I've tried TikTok. I don't know. It's just I don't know how people do so well on that platform, but yeah. I've even tried throwing up
consistency and short attention spans. I like Goobs is saying in the chat. TikTok and Instagram Reels go hard, and they do, and it's because everything even the last 2 years, everything's been shifting towards short form content, right? It's all playing on that 5-minute, 30-second attention span that a lot of people have these days because they are constantly on the phone, constantly on the move. They just always want we're such a all-consuming society that it's like need more, must consume.
But
more.
It's addicting. Like I confess to the fact that it's like 10:30 at night. I should be in bed because I get up at 3:30 in the morning. But I look at the time and go, holy crap! I've just sat on YouTube Shorts or TikTok for half an hour scrolling random videos that I probably didn't need to watch, but I couldn't stop. It's like, oh, next one.
I found with TikTok though. I found with TikTok like they obviously added longer videos now. I still hunt for the smaller videos. I think if they go for too long, I lose interest. Like you see those ones of like people putting up movie scenes and stuff, and like, I haven't seen this movie. I don't care. It's taking too long. I feel like TikTok, you've got that. I think it's 15 seconds to grab someone's attention with a video, or they're just going to keep scrolling. It's as simple as just scrolling up. There it is.
Yeah, it's a not interested next. It's like the Tinder of content. It's like swipe up, let's go. Swipe up, let's go.
Left, right.
And all the while you're doing that, the algorithm is like, all right, you like that, you watch this, and then it just keeps generating, and then you're there for longer and longer. It's this really bizarre, devious trap.
They've definitely made it really well. Yeah. That's like what you were saying before with the age of people listening to podcasts and stuff. I was only thinking about while I was just talking. A couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't have never have actually sat down and listened to a podcast. And now I've got a list of podcasts I've got to listen to within the fortnight sort of thing. I prefer listening to than over music sometimes because it's one of those things where you can sit in the car and just kind of sit there and listen and not zone out, but half zone out, or doing your mowing or whatever. Like it's one of those things where you can just kind of do it whenever and wherever.
Yeah, so true. Definitely. Let's get into a little bit of Xbox news. So, because we do have a little bit to get through. So, and I'm glad Whippy's here, so I don't have to talk about someone by myself. So, one that's caught everyone off guard, Craftopia. So, Craftopia hit Game Pass this week. Now, this one hit Steam. I want to say I went to write the date now. It's been on Steam I think it's been for a year or so. Let's say a year or so. It's in early access. It's still in early access on console as well. So it's available as part of the Xbox's game preview program. I think it's like $30 to buy or just download it on Game Pass. This one, it's a new multiplayer survival action game that's actually made in Japan. And they actually admit that they literally wanted to get all these concepts from different games and shove them into one and try and make, I guess, its own little baby. So it's got obviously survival instincts. It's got dungeons. It's got farming. It's got like breeding. I think you can even similar to someone compared it to Pokemon, where you can go capture the animals and you can crossbreed and stuff. It's really interesting. I dived into it and found myself really enjoying it. And what do you think, Whip? I know you jumped into it.
I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to play it for near as long as I did, and I will keep diving into it. I think I streamed for nearly 2.5, 3 hours or something. And I think I've gone to another map, and it's definitely a fun game. But the one thing that I noticed is you have to make sure you're checking everything before you go and do the dungeons and stuff, because there's so many chests with swords and stuff in it that make your life so much easier. But it's definitely one I think people need to keep an eye on. That's for sure.
Yeah, so like just to try, there was so much. I actually tried to make a list, but so there's like over 100 different skills you can learn. So there's like, and there's you just got this, so you don't like, you can like be like, you can focus on like magic. So it's like I'm trying to find games to compare it to. It's like if you want to focus on magic, you can be, I guess, a bit of a magician, so to speak. If you want to focus on your swords and be a bit of a tank, you can. You want to focus on your DPS, you can. There's all these different dungeons. I don't have the dungeon footage here. Just a side note, I recorded an entire episode for my own YouTube channel, half an hour, and apparently I never hit the record button. Ever done that before?
Love to see that. I've done that before, man. I did 45 minutes of a solo podcast.
Oh no, a podcast,
and it hadn't been recording. I was like, oh no, what am I doing? So I had to go back.
That was
because it was like I was doing like a Q&A, and I'm like, all right, I'll get a drink. I'll start this again.
Actually, what Goob has said, I reckon, is the game dead on. He's got Ark, Minecraft, and any mystical RPG had a baby, which I would say.
So it's got I haven't played games like this, but like this is why I think Puppiez said he likes Minecraft. So like, you know, it's like I haven't played. Is it Satisfactory? Because you can like automate. You can like automate systems. So like, rather than obviously do all the farming yourself, you can you know how I guess you can like build all the different structures and resources you need that where the resource will just kind of like farm itself. But then you got like the transport, so you can get gliders, motorbikes, snowboard things. It's like, it's just nuts. There's just so much you can like do in it. And I think that my favorite part, I think I saw it in your stream too, is hitting them little those little blue things.
They fly so far.
They do.
You flog them and then they just fly off. It's like, okay, goodbye.
What do you think, Pup? Looking at the footage, even though it's a bit hard because I didn't capture what I wanted to be in the dungeons.
No, that's cool. So looking at the footage, the art style is kind of giving me like janky Breath of the Wild vibes. Like I think there's a few shots when you're in the menu, and you've got your character there. It's styled in the way that kind of Link is styled in that game as well.
Sorry, I did catch the dungeon footage. Sorry,
this
is dungeons. So this is a dungeon. So dungeons, like full on dungeons with bosses and all kinds of things.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I might have to. It's on Game Pass, so I'll probably it's on Game Pass, so I might have a look at it one day, if I ever have time. But it looks interesting. I don't know if like I said, I'm really weird about survival games. Basically, it's Minecraft and that's it. Anything else doesn't my head in. I hate Ark. I don't hate it. I just don't like playing it. And there's a few others I've tried. They just don't gel. I don't know if there's something specifically about Minecraft that I don't know what it does about rocking my boat, but it rocks my boat hard. And I can't do any other type of survival game. I think I got the good one early on. I can't kind of move on from that. So I mean, I'll give it a shot, but I don't know, right? It'd be interesting to see this one develop. Like I said, it does lean more into that kind of action-esque RPG kind of vibe as well, which is really cool. So that might be the spot of difference.
It's not a harsh survival. It's got that Minecraft does, like, I know Minecraft survival, but Ark feels more survival in the sense of like your food and your water and all that kind of thing.
Definitely.
This has that, but I didn't feel like I was concentrating on it. Like farming resources was like easy. And I was just like, I put it this way, I enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed it that much, and I have the downtime at work. I actually, because this is on Game Pass for PC and Xbox. So I was like even mucking around on Xbox, just on the PC at work, even playing it. I was just amazed by how much there was to do. I was just amazed by how much there was to do. Apparently there's some issues with the UI at the moment. Epic was telling me. I haven't seen that. I think it's on the Xbox, possibly. I haven't fired up on the Xbox, but apparently there's been some issues with the UI, but they've got a couple of
issues.
Yeah, neither have I, but she sent me a screenshot in there. There's some definite weird issues going on with the UI. AI, like in this footage here, like the AI are a little bit dumb. Like I'm shooting with a bow and arrow, not really doing too much. And I didn't actually discover the combat skills tab till after this video. Like I just thought there was one tab for like the skills, and then like I'm playing on the PC, I go, oh my god, there's like 2 whole other tabs here with like extra abilities and combat moves I can actually unlock. So you can do different combat moves and stuff. So like what people see here in the live stream is just the basic combo button, but combo mash button, but you can literally unlock all these different moves and abilities and stuff for your variety in your combat. So I could see myself playing a bit more in my downtime, and obviously character customization. So all you people out there like creating your characters and stuff like that. Yeah, it's got all that. So that is Craftopia. I'm glad you're here with me because I was gonna have to wing this with Pup and I wasn't looking forward because I didn't play it. So glad you're here now. And that is Surgeon Simulator. You had got a chance to dive into that one, mate.
I did, and I won't again.
I just want to remind everyone the trailer I saw and I was explaining to the Pup was people using bowling with heads as 10-pin bowling balls, and you want to explain it all to us?
I didn't actually get that far into it.
Okay.
It's not. I don't know if it's better on the PC. I need to actually boot it up on my PC properly. I was playing it on the Xbox. It wasn't. We found out it was not cross-platform, so you can't play with like PC, Xbox, and the controls are so janky on the Xbox. It is so hard to do anything.
Oh, really?
I think I streamed it for just over an hour, and it took me that long to get to the tutorial. It was just everything was so janky. What you had to do was really janky. Like I've actually never played one of them on the Xbox before, but I was getting so angry. And at the end of it, then we couldn't figure it out. We couldn't even do cross-platform. I was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing this." And yeah, from what I've seen Trish and Boo Boo doing, the game itself on the PC looks amazing when you can play it with other friends, and obviously you can do like 10-head bowling, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, no, it's definitely not one I'll give a pass on the
So what are you actually
Xbox.
doing then? Because I was trying to watch some of their footage as well. Like, what's the concept of it all?
So
it looks just like a silly game that you're meant to have a laugh, and like the girls are having a laugh, so clearly it's some kind of
it's
comedy
not,
to it.
You could literally walk in, grab his head, and rip his head off. Like it's the game's stupid, and that's what they've made it for. Like that syringe she's about to pick up there stops bleeding. Then you get the red ones that give blood, and they give you like little scenarios on what you need to do to help Bob. Like you grab a hammer and smash his ribs and just rip his lungs out with your hands. And like there was a couple of times there, I ripped his leg off and like it was slapping him at the side of the face. I was like, "Wake up, Bob! It's all right." And
there was actually a footage I have to mention this. There was a screenshot I saw. I actually put it in our run sheet notes because I wanted you. I thought it was gonna be Pups. So we were going to talk about it. I don't know how hard it'd be for you guys to have a look at it. I'm looking at footage here of this guy lying on a table, and his stomach has sausages, 2 cans of Coke. The guy's pouring mustard on him, and the girl's got an eggplant that looks like he's about to replace his head.
And his head's in the bucket up the back.
What even is this?
That's Surgeon Simulator. You can do some wacky stuff.
I think like I remember seeing a few playthroughs of the original game. I haven't had a look at this one yet, but it is just one of those games where it is just dumb, humorous stuff. It's and like even like I think like you could electrocute your patient. And you could do like the first one. It was very basic. It's kind of you operate on one person. You have different environments. So like the back of an ambulance, so things are moving around, and it becomes a little bit stressful because there's that jank of the controls that makes everything. It's like Fall Guys, you know how Fall Guys is a lot smoother controls wise, but
yeah.
There's that slight intentional jank to it to make it that little bit more difficult. So you're not like trying to be as precise. So you just, like you said, you go silly with it, and you replace ribs and lungs with Coke cans and intestines with hot dogs. And I mean, who doesn't want an eggplant as a head, right?
I think there's a very fine line though, like the making the controls that it just felt really unnatural in the Xbox. And Trish and Boo Boo said it felt like it was going to be fun, the controls on the PC, but they weren't necessarily that hard that it was getting there was one part there where I had to, in the tutorial, you got to saw his arm off. So they just give you a timber saw, which is okay. and you and you're sawing his arm, and you've got to literally grab that left analog stick and go like this to saw his arm off, which is fine, but it doesn't work properly. And then at the same time, you've got to hold the saw the whole time, and I ended up getting the shits and ripping his head off. So it's one of those games. Yeah, I was like,
get out of here.
I won't repeat what I said on stream, but yeah, it was pretty much you're done. You can go and get effed.
So it sounds like they, because so they didn't have the first one on Xbox. It sounds like maybe they haven't ported the controls over very well for Xbox. PC would have the issue because
really perfected it, yeah. Because on PC,
that's what it's sounding like.
That motion would be the mouse. Things would be a lot smoother. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they can improve it. It'd be good to see. You know, I love games like this, especially now it's a multiplayer.
I feel like this game would be amazing in VR. It would be absolutely amazing in VR, I feel, but apparently it is VR on PC, but I'm still yet to see anyone play it in VR.
Yeah, and like Pup was saying, it's multiplayer now too, so you can team up with your friends or be against each other and stuff as well. So I don't know if this one's for me. Look, it does look a game you could have a bit of a laugh in. If you're not going to take it too seriously, it does definitely look suited to VR. But there's like all you see is the hand. Did he just shove something?
Yep. Well, that's the second needle that's gone on the crotch for Bob.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I don't know what. I think he might be getting some enlargement surgery.
Yeah, some enlargement surgery.
I mean, yeah,
that's what
I was meant to do here, Boo Boo. What were you doing?
That's what that was what the eggplant actually was.
Yeah,
it went wrong, came off. Like, oh, we're gonna shove it back on somewhere. Just stick it in his neck. It'll be fine.
I did that yesterday. Then the first tutorial mission, you got to rip his leg off, and like you don't take it off nicely. You literally grab his ankle and tear his leg off. And then you had to jam that yellow syringe in to stop his leg from bleeding. I completely missed his leg straight in his nuts. I was like, sorry, buddy. But somehow his leg stopped bleeding.
He wouldn't feel it anyway. It's fine.
No,
it's
that's
anesthetic, right?
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Surgeon Simulator 2. Okay, we can't really speak too much on that one because the girls had played. That was like their assigned game to fill us in on, so they're not obviously couldn't make it tonight, so we had to fill in that gap there.
Job.
So
one job. My God.
So that's what us boys can tell you from the stream I'm watching, or for those that are on the live stream, we're watching Boo Boo's playback on it. So yeah. Anyway, available on Game Pass for PC and Xbox. So by all means, go check that one out. Just a couple of mentions now because we haven't played these games. I was going to mention them, so we can't give you either good or I guess bad feedback on them because I haven't played it as much as I've wanted to play it. No Man's Sky has had the Frontier update since our last episode, so this is like I don't know how many updates they've had now. It's ridiculous, in a good way, that of course. So this is their Frontiers update. So this now introduces planetary settlements. So you now have clusters of trailblazing aliens that have banded together to build planetary settlements, and these pioneering settlements are full of life and promise and can now be found in inhabited systems all across the universe. You can now found your own settlement, so you can earn the respect of the citizens to become the overseer of your very own settlement. You'll be responsible for all aspects of the settlers' lives, such as like naming the town, choosing what to build, commissioning festivals, all those sorts of things. And they've also got breathtaking nebulas, so the interstellar clouds have gathered in deep space to form spectacular multicolored nebulas, and a whole lots more. Like there was just even too much to even put in my show notes. It's actually kind of crazy. From what I've seen, this is gaining some really good reviews. I just like to mention No Man's Sky. I've to be honest, I've always wanted to do another fresh playthrough of it. I remember when No Man's Sky first launched, I specifically went out and bought a PS4 for this game. That was the only reason I bought it, and like a lot, was heavily disappointed in it. It under-delivered, but I like to mention this, and I know you boys probably haven't played it as well. I just think this game's redeemed itself. What do you boys think about that?
I'm definitely going to download
it. Yeah, look, I think No Man's Sky has been one of those games that has made a genuine comeback. I think it's a game now that people look back to, especially when a game launches horribly. It's like, oh, it's alright, they'll pull a No Man's Sky, right? And I think that's really good. I think the developers have done a fantastic job listening to the community, getting back in there and going, right, what can we do to make this game, the best version of this game that it can be? And they've worked really, really hard at that. They've been bringing out consistent updates. And I think they've done a fantastic job. And again, I haven't played it. From what I've watched and from people I know that have played the game, spoken about their experiences. And I think they've done really well. I think they've done a fantastic job bringing it back. And now with these new updates that are now not fixing bugs, but just making the game more fun for people and more interesting. It's great. I'm all about it.
It's one of those games where the possibilities are more or less endless with what they can do too, because it is a big game. And adding things like having your own settlements and that is just the start of something bigger they could do. Which
you know what's surprising? Like, it wasn't that. I think it's bigger on PC, but I went to do an install of it. It's only like 13 gig or something. This game, it was quite tiny. I was quite surprised.
Wow, that's small.
It's like small. I swear on it. I swear on PC it's like 100 gig or something.
It's bad. The other day I was cleaning out my cupboard and I've taken the old PS2 out of the cupboard. I was like, oh, here's my memory card. It was like 14 megabytes or something, but it had that many games on. I was like, oh, how times have changed.
Oh man, I just had to buy a 4 terabyte hard drive for my computer because I was just running out of room. Like 2 terabytes was not enough. And I'm like, oh.
I feel that.
And yeah, and I'm halfway filling that now. So good times ahead. I'm sure I'll be buying another one. It'll be great. There you go. As of now, it's 11 gig on PC.
Oh, well, there you go. Wow.
Yeah.
There you go.
20.
Look, I've always said I've wanted to play this game. It's just like anything. It's the time to play all these games. It's like I've just got so many games. It's like I want to. It's just like, where am I going to get the time to play this?
Worst part with Game Pass. Worst part about Game Pass is it's a good thing. But you install a game, you're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to start playing it. Then they release something cool. You're like, I want to play that now. And you never end up getting back to it.
Yeah, okay. How many games have you actually finished this year? From start to finish?
3.
No, I think it's more than 2. Well, what month are we in? September, right?
September, yeah.
It's probably more than 2. But it's definitely less than games I haven't finished. Again,
let me guess. It's not that they're bad games. It's just other games come out and you go, I'm going to go play that now.
It's like, oh shiny. I mean, there was It's terrible. I mean, I've still got halfway through the Mass Effect remaster collection. I'm gonna get back to that
don't talk about that. I've literally got through like 3 missions, and I've got the disc sitting here somewhere, and I'll get to that eventually. But I'm about like an hour or 2 into the first one.
Yeah. There's more games coming out like this year, and there's some games I can't remember all of them now, but yeah, there's so many games I want to play, and it's like I still got to finish my old one. My backlog is just exponentially growing, and there's even games I want to play with friends. Like I got back into Tarkov for a little bit.
Ooh, Tarkov,
and just playing with a mate of mine, and I'm terrible at it. But he carries me through and he does like the little tour guide, and I would go here, you need this, we'll go here, and we kind of goes around. And I miss every shot, and he protects me until I die. Normally he goes down first. I accidentally shot him in the leg once. That was an experience. But and I want to make time for more of those games because I really do enjoy playing with my friends. And now that I'm working so much, I have very little social time, and so I try and capitalize on that. But it never happens. And then all these single players come out that I love, and I was like, oh no.
It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way.
Terrible.
What else have we got in the news space? Fallout 76 has Season 6 dropping on their radar. So this is the Unstoppable themed, bringing new outfits, weapon skins, allies, and more. Plus, obviously, a new season. I don't call it season pass. Scorecard, I think they call it. again, I have played a little bit of Fallout. I've played a fair bit of Fallout 76, not a lot as a lot of people. And again, it's just for me, this one's time. I actually really enjoy it. Problem I have with this one is, again, it's time. And to this game, I think this game is similar to No Man's Sky in the sense of it's redeemed itself. But this one, I feel, has struggled more with its reputation. I can't find anyone that enjoys playing this one. I tried getting Whippy into it. He lasted half an hour. And Goobs is saying, don't get me wrong, I think it was a huge letdown at launch. But I think it's turned itself around. Like, it's quite an enjoyable game. I haven't dived back into it in the last little bit. I think I'm like level 60 or something like that. But yeah, so this one drops soon, I believe. I'm just going to bring up the notes here for the peoples. So yeah, so new scorecard, new season pass, all that kind of thing. You're going to be meeting Daphne and Maul. And it's going to be to do with the Unstoppables. So yeah, that one comes out soon. So for those that are in the Fallout 76 space, what do you think? I don't even need to ask Whippy that question.
Game can go to hell.
He's not a Fallout 76 fan.
I'm not either. I kind of enjoyed 4. I've never really got into the Fallout franchise. I really want to go back and play New Vegas because I have heard amazing things. I've seen people play and it looks like a lot of fun.
New Vegas.
I think the only time I dove into this game is they had a free weekend when they released that Battle Royale that they did.
Oh, yep.
And that was enough for me to know that I wasn't going to enjoy the game. I mean, it's probably better now, and I know there's a very niche audience out there for Fallout 76, and the people that play it absolutely love it, and that's awesome. I'm glad they have a game that's like that for them. It's just not for me, and that's okay. That's all right, because some games are like that. I didn't like the jank. It was still super broken when I played it, and I'm kind of glad I didn't buy it. But yeah.
So I'm like you. I've played 4. I keep hearing that 3, like New Vegas, is the best. I'm waiting to go back. I did really enjoy 4, but yeah, you're right. It has a niche community now, but from what I'm seeing, I think people just want the next series in its franchise. I don't know if they're going to get one, but I mean they might go down the track. But I think people they want a single player.
Skyrim.
They want a
Skyrim 45th edition.
Yeah. Or well, to be honest, I think we'll see. I think we'll see Starfield before we see another Fallout. Personally.
Oh yeah, easily. Honestly, I'm okay with never seeing another Fallout again, as long as we keep seeing Obsidian bring out games like Outer Worlds. And now that they're both under like the Microsoft umbrella, it would be really interesting to see those guys come together and make a game. I don't think it'll happen because there's a little bit of rivalry there, a little bit, but you know they both make really good RPGs, and you know obviously Obsidian have really doubled down on that space thing with Outer Worlds, which was fantastic. I love that game. They've got a second one coming out, which is like yes.
I need to. I have not finished the first one. I really enjoyed it. I've got to finish it. It's on the. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. That's gonna happen
in 2032.
Yeah, so
I got a backlog.
Let's leave Fallout alone now and give me like new stuff.
New stuff. No more Fallout.
Like Starfield, Elder Scrolls. I can take a leave. You know, it's whatever. Cool. Dragons and stuff. It's fine. I'll probably get some hate for that.
They need to stop releasing the online ones. Everyone wanted a new.
It's pretty good. I don't mind.
But everyone loves Skyrim, and like nearly everyone's played the game. And I haven't talked to anyone that hasn't played it, that hasn't enjoyed it. But they kept releasing. Everyone wanted a new Skyrim game, not necessarily keep remastering freaking Skyrim, but I wanted a new one. And then they released a trailer, and all you see is a mountain. I was like, stop.
That's
if you're not going to give us something half decent, go away.
See that mountain over there? You can explore that.
Yeah, one day in 2032, you can explore that.
When your hands are old and crippled and you're on,
we'll be 80 years old.
Because you can't move anymore. It's like, I remember Skyrim and it's
straight in your spine.
first, second, and third edition. You kids with its 196th edition don't know what Skyrim was like.
Okay, do I confess that I've never played Skyrim now or later?
Oh, dude.
I haven't either, man.
Okay, that's okay then.
Skyrim shit, I've never played it. I played the fourth one for like half an hour. Again, I was in a very different headspace as a gamer. You know, I was all first-person shooters, and that was pretty well it. So I got about 3 hours in and got bored. So, again, short attention span. So yeah, I played a little bit of ESO. Kind of enjoyed it. There's a lot to that game coming in late to it. It's very overwhelming, which makes it very difficult to get into. But yeah, that's the extent of my experience in like the Elder Scrolls universe.
Well, a game I'm sure we have played is Halo. I'm sure we've all played that version of a game, Halo.
Never
never heard of it. 343 has. So we spoke about this a few weeks back with the flight test, and obviously everyone submitted their feedback, and the technical preview outcomes has been shared by 343. We obviously aren't going to go into the entirety of the article as it's quite lengthy, but essentially it's just covering everyone's feedback and them giving varied responses on it. So things to do with accessibility, like down to the audio and the music, what people liked, what they didn't like. So for instance, they didn't feel that the Needler audio was kind of true to the other games, so they suggested, like, had a suggestion that the team kind of have a look at that. Then they had things to do with the battle pass system. I think there's been some tweets around the battle pass system, and is it just going to be focused on challenges, things like that. So I think so the feedback on that was, are challenges the only way to progress? They said that from a player feedback perspective, we heard the request to earn XP per match outside of challenges, as well as to have XP boost timers only count while in match. One of the items that wasn't fully in the tech preview was our daily challenge model. So it's just similar to like any other kind of daily challenge system where, you know, get XYZ kills with some gun or use something XYZ times. They're the kind of daily challenges that they're talking about that they'll kind of introduce. They also spoke about the bots. So the positives that the communities mentioned on the bots was they felt that they were intelligent, fun, and challenging, and it's a good area to learn. Some feedback that they gave on it was that they felt that the bots were too accurate when shooting weapons and throwing grenades, and that they all went the same way to start. They could get confused while moving on the map, and they didn't use equipment enough. And then Spartan bots weren't much better than ODST bots. So this is a bit hard for me to comment on because I obviously didn't get a chance to play the flight test. Did any of you boys get to play the flight test at all?
I've also been left out in the cold, and I'm mad about it. Mad as hell.
Spoiler! I should be in the next one.
Yeah, I'm also in the next one.
I'm not. I haven't got an email about it. I have to check. Actually, I haven't checked my emails this week. I should probably do that. But yeah, that's cool. I'm honestly happy just to wait and play the game. I think it's really cool that people are testing it. I really genuinely love 343's transparency. I don't care if Halo comes out as a hot pile of garbage right now. The way that 343 have approached this, and the way they're kind of communicating with their community. I mean, it's been a bit of a double-edged sword for them at times, but I think it's fantastic. You know, they're keeping us in the loop. You can look at other developers like Bungie, and you know, they kind of they do some things that, oh, by the way, we did that like 3 months ago. I hope you noticed. Yeah, the transparency is good. You know, watching all the breakdowns of how they're doing things, how they're approaching the game, is really honest and really good to see. It's an interesting insight. And I really hope they continue that because it's been fantastic.
Yeah, so I'll leave the article in the description for those listening on the audio because we'd be here for 20 minutes going through this article. It's quite lengthy, but they even speak about the radar system. I think this is what caught my attention on Twitter. I don't know how you guys feel about the radar system. So I'm just quickly trying to find the section. I'm pretty sure this was in this section here. Where did they speak about the combat sensor? Yeah. So feedback. Some liked the combat sensor, though most found it confusing. And then some wanted height indicators as well. I will read this section. So it says the combat sensor or radar that sits in the bottom left of your HUD followed a different set of rules in the previous Halo titles. It only displayed enemies when they were sprinting or shooting, which was more in line with Halo 5's threat tracker. It says that they knew that this implementation was going to feel different, maybe even a little contentious, and that's why we wanted to get feedback on it as soon as possible in the tech preview. While some appreciated the new approach, we found that most players missed the old properties in these social matches. We've updated the combat sensor to feel more like the motion tracker of old, which shows all movement besides crouch walking, and should have that ready for folks to test in the next flight. Be sure to keep an eye out. That seemed to have a bit of mixed reviews. Some didn't like that move, and some did. Do you guys have a preference on your radar, or do you just aim and shoot?
I just aim and shoot, walk around corners. How did I die? And then get mad at them for hacking. To the radar. No, fuck the radar. I'm not doing it.
What about yourself, Whip?
I'm sorry. I had someone talking to me in my ear. What did you say, sorry?
We said that you suck, and do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Never mind the question. So, we're just talking about the radar system. So essentially, have you played much of the Halo multiplayers at all? Like Halo 5?
A little bit, not a great deal.
Okay. Yeah, so essentially they're utilizing, they were testing Halo 5's radar system, which was more just a threat tracker. So it only tracked certain types of movement. People preferred the old style of the radar, so they're going to put it back to the like the more Halo 3 side of the tracker for the next flight test. I had some kind of mixed reviews. What was your thoughts, Scoobs? Just Scoobs is from asking what was your preference on it? Did you have a preference on the tracker? And while we wait for a response on that one, and then they spoke about medals as well. So again, we're not going to go through the entirety of it because it's really that long. And I'm still scrolling it. I've only just got to the bottom of it now, so I'll leave the article in the description for our audio listeners for anyone that wants to scoot across and have a read of that one. That is the end of the games that have kind of come out, and what's kind of what we're up to date, so to speak. But we don't get to relax this Game Pass because there's still more stuff coming out this week. It just doesn't stop. So we have 4 games coming out in the space between now and our next episode. The first one coming out is called Crown Trick. Now, if you're wondering what the hell Crown Trick is, you can be forgiven because I had no idea. Had to do some Googling, had to do some bit of research and all that kind of thing to kind of figure out what Crown Trick was. So Crown Trick has actually been out since 2020 on Steam. It must be good because it's got very positive reviews. Not just positive review, guys, but on Steam it says very positive reviews. This one is you get introduced into a nightmare realm as you guide protagonist Ellie on a perilous journey through procedurally generated dungeons. Before I read the rest, have we got enough dungeon type games, do you feel now?
I'm sick of seeing them.
They're all the hotness right now, right?
That was my first initial thought, was like, another dungeon game.
We went through the BR games, now we're going for dungeon games.
I think as well, with dungeon games, there are a lot more. I mean, even with BR games too, for independent developers, they're a lot more accessible. To make, they're not as like, with indies trying to do big open world games, this can be quite a bit of a struggle. But these kind of smaller packaged down games that have high replayability, I think are going to be the way forward for a while. In the gaming industry, which is kind of cool, because we're always talking about the lack of time we have for games, and if they're smaller, shorter experiences, that if you want to replay them and it's like good replayability, you can, which is always a bonus. I mean, I'd love to see some new genres aside from dungeon crawlers kind of start to pop up, because I know this is only the start of what will be a massive wave, especially when we've had hits like Hades recently. Yep. So we'll have to see how it goes. But you know, for now it's fine. It's not, for me, it's not too many. But I can see how it's going to start getting too much very quickly.
It must have, like I said, it's got some great, like, I'm keen to check it out just because Steam's given it a good rap. So it says players will need to strategically plan each move in order to survive using a combination of skills, familiars, and weapons in order to escape the Nightmare Realm. It says engaging strategic gameplay, monsters and traps move only when the player moves. So carefully thought out strategies are key to escaping the labyrinth dungeon. You're looking at 40 active skills, 60 passive abilities, 30 usable items, and 170 plus special relics. Obviously, you're creating a different combination of ways to do things. So, already out on Steam, but yeah, coming out to Game Pass on the 7th of August, so a couple of days. And that is on Xbox.
17 new. Nice.
Yeah, so Game Pass for Xbox and PC. And that's all the information I kind of have for you on that one, to be honest. I had to do some digging on that one.
I like the art style. It's kind of pretty.
Awesome.
It reminds me of a colorful Hollow Knight.
Yeah,
a little bit. I kind of like it.
Do you want to take us through our next one, Whip? Are you got that up or no?
I am. I'm actually very keen for this game if it's none other than Breath Edge, which is a you pretty much need to survive in outer space. Apparently, you have an immortal chicken as your sidekick.
I laughed straight away when I saw that. You have an immortal chicken.
So you pretty much have a spaceship crash, and you need to craft tools and pilot vehicles and more or less survive in outer space. So we're back to those real survival games that Puppy said he loves so much.
To be fair, though, I don't feel there's enough space survival games, to be honest.
No.
We could do it.
Which is why I'm really looking...
a few dozen more, right?
I actually...
Great.
That's what I mean. I'm really looking forward to Starfield. Like, I see a lot of, like, you know, your raft type survival games and your land type survival games, but not much in the space. So
I wish Goob did not say Subnautica.
And no, you don't. You definitely don't see survival games with immortal chickens.
I wish Goob did not say Subnautica, because now that's all I can see: Subnautica in space.
Out of all the games,
actually, it's very true.
Chickens are the most dangerous thing in gaming. So having an immortal one at your side may not be such a bad thing, right? Because I mean, any game you attack a chicken, and they come at you with a vengeance, like no tomorrow, and then they hoard on you, and then people see you picking on the chickens, and then it just dog piles on you, and you've got like an entire village and like 3 chickens fighting you. So space chicken that's immortal, not so bad. It could shoot lasers out of its eyes. I'm about it.
Who knows? Again, I couldn't find much info on this. It just says that you have a kind of a spaceship crash in space, and you kind of survive from there. So, not going to go too much into this. It's a survival game. So my understanding of it, you're just crafting stuff in space, kind of thing. I'm not saying it's bad. Not saying it's good. I'll probably give it a quick check out on Game Pass because it's on Game Pass. But there's a lot of survival games. Spoiler alert: we will be doing a ranked. I'll be catching up with a particular guest, and we'll be ranking all the survival games on Game Pass. And I can roughly tell you, because I'm going to add more to the list, there's probably a good 15, 16 games on Game Pass that are in the survival genre. 15, 16 games.
Surely Banjo-Kazooie's in there.
I just missed what you said there, Pups. I didn't catch you, sorry.
Oh, I was just grunting at the vast amount of survival games that I'm thrilled. And when you were saying like, oh, I've got a guest coming on. Oh God, we're gonna talk about survival games. Don't rope me into this like short notice. I don't want to turn you down live, man.
Puppy just goes offline. Oh, my internet cut out. Sorry, guys.
Oh, sorry, power went out. My bad. Oh.
What a shame.
What a shame.
All right. The next one coming out is coming out.
Surprise.
Nuclear Throne. Now, the last one I mentioned, which was the Crown Trick, I said it had very positive reviews, right, on Steam. So this one, Nuclear Throne, has been out since 2015. I'll be honest, I've never heard of it. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it has overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. So not just positive, it's got overwhelmingly, can't even say that word. It's got positive reviews. So does that mean it's good if it's got overwhelmingly positive reviews?
Judging from the gameplay, no way.
I don't know, man. I kind of like it. It's. I mean, sure, it's that older style kind of look to it. Kind of give me like the 16-bit jazz jackrabbit kind of vibes, but dungeon crawler. I mean, it's a totally different game, but same kind of aesthetic to it. I don't know, it could be a lot of fun. I also love the description on this. It's a post-apocalyptic roguelike top-down shooter. I mean, that is one hell of a mouthful. But I like it, and I think this would be one of those games. This would be a lot of fun to play. It's not super serious. Like,
look,
it looks kind
it's
of
the Ascent, but 20 years ago. That's essentially what it is. It's a top-down shooter, but it's the Ascent 20 years ago. Yeah. Fair enough. Quick comparison, yeah. Top-down shooter.
Never...
But it's 20 years ago. The graphics from 20 years ago. If you install this game for the graphics, you're going to be disappointed. These graphics look like
they're done kind of well for the style they're in, right? I think that's a bit of a misconception a lot of people have. Is there are games specifically styled towards this, because there are a lot of people, especially that are making these games, that these were the kinds of games they played when they were younger.
Very true.
So this kind of like nostalgic aesthetic can be really fun to go back to, especially with a game that's kind of, a bit wacky and a bit fun. It doesn't take itself very seriously. Like, we're seeing a resurgence of these style of graphics and very pixelated, heavy style of graphics. Like, I think is what was that new one that's coming out for on Xbox? There was one, had an amazing trailer. I can't remember what it is now. It's gone.
Fortnite.
But that definitely was not Fortnite, man. Although if Fortnite had graphics like this, I don't know, man. Maybe
it wasn't that Boyfriend Dungeons game, mate, was it?
Oh man. Oh, do you want to talk about Boyfriend Dungeons? Because I've been playing that.
Have you really?
What?
Yeah, man, I love it. It's great.
You're joking. Come on.
No, not at all. Not at all. Look, hear me out. Look, I know. Look.
Oh, okay.
It's been getting a bit of a rap, and look, I get it. It's not. It's not. It's a game that does not take itself seriously. It's a lot of fun, but if you put all that aside just for a moment, right?
Okay.
Well, you put me on the big stage for this. Too,
I have. I did.
So it's
hang on, just for context. Just for context, just maybe a clip. Puppiez is going to tell us all about Boyfriend Dungeons and why it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, it is. So look, it's fun, it's silly, and it's a bit weird. And I only started playing dating sims not long ago. I think the first one I did was the KFC one, which was hilarious, and I loved it. And it was just a straight up dating sim. And this one, the dungeon crawling mechanics aren't actually too bad in it. It's actually pretty good. There's a good gameplay loop there. It's fun to play. You get some really cool power-ups and abilities. Yeah, sure, you're dating a weapon. They're shirtless dudes. It's fun. Who cares?
Which was your favorite? But I heard there was like weapons that were quick.
Yeah, there's always weapons that are quick, mate.
And are you playing on Xbox or PC?
I'm playing on PC.
Because Trish told us that if you play with a controller, you get vibrations in certain scenes.
I haven't got mine set up. I've had vibrations off since like the Nintendo 64. It's just too much sensory overload for me. But honestly though, like the characters are really well written. The stories are interesting. The dungeon crawling isn't bad. If you can get past the shirtless guys, which I mean, a lot of people can, and that's like it's great. I know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's fine. That's fine. A lot of people won't play this, but I'm here to tell you it's actually a pretty good game, and I've really enjoyed my time with it. I'm looking forward to finishing it.
Trish is going to be so happy with you.
She's going to be very happy with you.
I was kind of hoping Trish would be here.
She's going to be gutted she actually missed this now. She's going to be absolutely gutted that she missed this. Look, I actually got some backlash a little bit for... I know I rubbish this game. Like, there's a community out there for every game. Just because I think a game might be silly, there's obviously people out there that probably love these kind of games just as much as I like games that people don't like. But you know, clearly people love the game, and that's fantastic. I'm just rubbish. Not rubbishing it. I'm just kind of more so mimicking it for its concept. It's just a weird concept. Like, it's a weird concept. Dating your weapons.
And I think that's what makes it unique too. Like a lot of dating sims. I mean, there's dating sims that where you're dating birds. There's like some really, really raunchy like space prison ones that you probably wouldn't want to talk about in a podcast like this. Like I've seen a lot of them, and it's something different. Like they do something different with the genre. They attach that dungeon crawling, and it ties into the story, which is it's not just like, oh, no, you're good dungeon crawling. It ties into the story. Everything you're doing has meaning. You're meeting, like the slight spoiler, when you're finding these weapons, you're finding them throughout the dungeon. So as you go through the dungeon, you slowly progress. You're unlocking more of the story, and it's done really well. It's tied in to the overall story as well. And yeah, and they touch on some really good topics to do with relationships, consent, stalking. Again, for some people it can be a little bit triggering, a little bit heavy for them, but it touches on some important topics in the dating world as well, which I think is really, really good. So
there you go.
Yeah, if again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay, but if you're even thinking about it, give it a chance. It's a bit of fun, and it's a pretty decent game.
There you go, Boyfriend Dungeons. There you go.
Maybe
I will try it out just for you.
I want to hear your thoughts if you do, man. I want you to stream it. Actually, I would love to see your live reactions to some of this.
Nightlife is definitely going to have his controller vibrations on for that one.
yeah, definitely.
Maybe I'll stream it. Have like one streamer just for a laugh or something. Like I said, I'm laughing just at the concept of it. Like I said, I'm sure it's people have obviously put some time and energy into these games, and I'm sure, like I said, it's a good game for the right audience. So. It's just me laughing at the concept. It's just when I first read it, I'm like, is that like, am I reading that right? That's the kind of game we're playing. But no, that's honestly interesting to hear that it's kind of got that kind of.
Also, to Goob's comment, just really quickly, if it was Ryan Reynolds, I would be praising this game even more. We'd be set.
Let's quickly move on to the last game that's coming out. I think we mentioned this in the last episode, I think, so we'll quickly touch on it. And that
this game looks absolutely stunning.
The Artful Escape, highly anticipated. On the eve of his first performance, Francis Vendetti battles with the legacy of a dead folk legend and the cosmic wanderings of his own imagination. So he is a teenager guitar prodigy, sets out on a multi-dimensional journey to inspire his stage persona. It's a highly anticipated game. I don't know if it's my cup of tea, but yeah, people are kind of interested for it. What's their thoughts, boys?
I think the game looks absolutely stunning. The screenshots and everything I've seen so far for it. It's coming in the Game Pass, so I'll download it. The worst that's going to happen is I'm not going to like it, and if I don't like a game, obviously I just uninstall it. No loss. But the game itself
came for it. Group just came for it.
Yeah. I'm down for this. Like cosmic wanderings, you've got me sold. Some weird psychedelic stuff going on. That's great. I started playing Psychonauts too the other day too.
What do you think? What are you thinking of that?
I'm only about 40 minutes in, but I'm enjoying it. A really charming game. It's got those like ants, Pixar style animation to it. I'm kind of digging it. But the world itself and the story is really, really charming. It sucked me in so far. I've only played like an hour, done like the first level. I'm planning to get hopefully more of that done over my weekend.
I'm really disappointed. I don't like the single. I don't know what it is. I used to play a lot of single player games like growing up, but I really struggle with single player games now. Just enjoying them. I don't know. I've said this before. I really enjoy multiplayer games more. Like I struggle to kind of sit there and enjoy a single player. Like everyone's raving about Psychonauts, and I don't like hate the game because I played the early access of it. It's like I just struggle to get that same enjoyment out of these single player games these days. Like it does look like a good game, but
that's honestly just a matter of taste. You know, I don't vibe with a lot of multiplayer games anymore, mostly because I'm old and creaky and bad. But yeah, but Artful Escape. It looks fantastic. I think
it does look fantastic, for sure.
I think I'll definitely be getting into this one when I have the time. It'll be going on my bump everything on the backlist, the backlog down a bit further, and just like I'll put it at like number 3 or 4 next to my list and try and get to it very soon. But yeah, looks really cool. Hopefully some like rhythm stuff in there too, because then it's like kind of music based. I'd love to see some like rhythm style gameplay in there as well. I think that'd be pretty neat.
For sure. So another great week coming up for Game Pass, as always. I don't think this is a week where like there's not much going on. And it's like whenever we prep these shows, like you think you've got all your games set, and then a day later they go, "Oh, surprise! We got 6 more games coming for you on Game Pass, and they're coming out in 2 days." It's like, oh,
you want a quick story about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're doing the news for Thumbs just back when we were a news podcast, and Gray and I were getting the news ready, and we were kind of prepping the stuff for the day, and we're about to record, and then there was rumors of the Xbox Series X finally being revealed and dropping, and we're like, okay, cool, we'll throw that in the show, we'll talk about, we'll think about what we think it's going to be, blah 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 blah. We get to the end of the show, it was announced seconds after our show ended.
Oh, you're joking.
Like, you're kidding me. I was like, why? Do this to me. And it happened so many times. Was it the Switch announcement as well? One of the new Switches happened as well, like half an hour after we finished. We were just on the wrong news cycle for those couple of weeks. It was terrible. But yeah, infuriating. Keeping up with news like this is always like the gaming industry moves so fast too. You got to
be so quick. You got to be so quick to like once you hear about it, you got to be so quick to kind of go about it. So, your podcast, what do you got lined up over the next kind of 6 months? What's spoilers? What spoilers?
What spoilers? I haven't got next week planned.
You just told me the other day. I'm like 5 weeks ahead. Like,
yeah. You know what happened to those 5 weeks?
Didn't record.
Postpone. I had guest postponed. I had cancellations. It's the fickle thing about guest-based podcasts. You're very reliant on someone else that you don't know. So it is stress. But yeah, podcasts, Two Left Thumbs podcast. I find people in the gaming industry, creators, people working on video games, people talking about video games, people that just love video games, and we talk about anything but video games. That's the elevator pitch. Just getting to know perfect strangers and bonding over the fact that I know and they know that we both love video games, and just seeing where it goes from there. As far as what's planned, next week this week now. I have Mr. Badbit on from the PlayStation Trophy Room podcast, which would be really, really cool.
Nice.
He's a really interesting guy, very knowledgeable, lots of interesting stories, a really cool bloke. After that, I'm kind of on to my next kind of group of guests. So I'm looking for some people. I'm looking at a few developers and stuff like that. I'm trying to kind of get in contact with. So I haven't confirmed anything yet, but I've got some pretty cool people that I'm looking at getting lined up, which would be really, really cool. But we do that every week. I release on Thursdays. You can find me. I love the podcast specifically. Don't worry about me. I'm terribly uninteresting on Twitter. I only post when I have the podcast to post about.
No, that's not true. Twitter.com/deft_puppies with a Z. He posts stuff.
Occasionally.
He posts
I'm more of a
daily.
quality over quantity kind of guy, so I don't post often, but when I do, it's hilarious. But yeah, you can find the podcast on Twitter at @left_pod. We're on Instagram as well, Two Left Thumbs Podcast. They're just kind of there to announce that the episodes are there. The real meat, the real source. You want to be going to your favorite podcast platform of choice. Searching Two Left Thumbs, you should find us. You can also find I do a video version as well that I release at the same time. You can find that by going to twoleftthumbs.online, and that'll link you directly to our channel. And you can go from there. All the links will be everywhere. You'll be able to find everything, I hope.
They got to look for the smaller channel, isn't it? Didn't you say there's a competitor channel that looks similar to yours on YouTube?
There's another channel that does like
some like the videos. That's why I'm gonna make. So some actually prefer watching the videos that come through here. So if you want to,
So just look for Two Left Thumbs podcast. You'll see the thing. It's like a blue and black logo. It'll be around. I'm sure. But if you're having trouble finding it at @left_pod on Twitter, I'll point you in the direction. Get mad in my DMs. Goes, God damn it, Puppies, where's this episode? I'm like, it's over here. It's okay. I got you. But yeah, you can find me there doing my stuff. Like I said, I'm taking it week by week. I don't like to plan too much ahead because things always go wrong. Just gotta wing it. It's fine.
Yeah, and which is what we've done tonight. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
We winged it. So, mate, thanks so much.
Sheet like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, mate. Thanks so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. It's been fantastic. It's been a lot of fun having you on, man.
I'm glad I could come out here and cause a bit of chaos. Love it.
So,
thanks for having me on, guys. It has been a lot of fun. I love when I get to come on and chat to people I know.
Yeah,
it makes life a lot easier for me. And not hosting.
And they're good. They're just good catch up. They're good.
Stressful.
And they're good catch up sessions, really.
Exactly. Yeah.
Exactly.
For sure.
So.
Part of me really hopes Trish is not listening, like watching this right now, because when she pulls the audio later and goes to edit it, she's going to love the ed part. Like, just no one tell her.
Yeah, no one tell her. It's secret. And also, if she's listening to this now,
she'll be listening in post edit.
Dungeon all day.
She'll be listening in post edit when she's editing. She already offered to edit, so she'll be editing tomorrow. No, probably. It's like, damn it.
I could have been on this one.
For our audio guys listening in, that will be us there, guys. Guys, thank you very much, as always, for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. We hope you have a great rest of your week. Again, Tuesday, just a recap, every episode will now be available Tuesday for you guys, audio-wise. If you would ever like to catch the live streams, we stream them at Monday nights, anywhere from between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. AEST, depending on guest availability. That's all from me, guys. So I'm going to say goodbye.
See you guys.
And yeah, we're good because I'll edit that out. So the live stream's on. Hello, live stream.
On that note, I'm going to be really rude because I'm dead tired. You go to bed,
mate. That's just not even excusable, mate. It's not even excusable.
You're late. You hear late. You stay late, Whippy. That's the deal, mate. Put in the hours.
I raced back. I was like, I don't have time. I was like, yes. I sat down. I was like, yep, looks natural.
How was that? No, all good, mate. Thanks for coming on. That kind of helped a little bit.
Cheers, puppies.
Yeah.
Hey, Whips.
See you, mate.
How was that, Goobs? Did that feel too long, Goobs? How did that feel for you, pup?
Hour and a half.
Well, hang on. Wait,
I can talk all day, so I'm good. You know.
I reckon it's going to be. Well, it'll be. I know I know we're live for an hour and a half, but probably the audio version is going to be. I've been stressing out, and Pup's been awesome because I talked to him off stream a lot about stuff. Like, I personally like when I go to search a podcast, right? I search Xbox Game Pass podcast, right? I want to see what the competitors are doing, but personally for me, I see like 2-3 hour podcasts, and I freak out, and I go, I just don't have time to listen to something that long. And like listening to something like you're about the hour mark, and Gamers Watch is about the hour mark as well. Listen to them. So for me, an hour is good, and I don't know. I feel like it's a good benchmark. But like the last week's was an hour and 40. And I don't know what this one's going to be. It's like, but the time just flies. I was just conscious because of I know Whippy would work tomorrow, but it's like, man, time just flies. You could really talk for 2-3 hours.
And that's fine. Look, honestly, like just do you. I wouldn't worry about what anyone else is doing. I just focus on producing the best show. And if it goes for 2 hours, it goes for 2 hours. It's like yeah, like Goob's saying, some of the biggest podcasts like go for 2 hours. Like Bad Bits podcast, it's about 2 hours. Mr. Boomstick's Xbox podcast, he has 3 of them that go for 2 hours.
I've been adding timestamps. Do you think that helps for audio listeners?
Timestamps are good. Yeah, timestamps are good for audio listeners. I don't really use them. I just kind of, like I said, again, you've got to lean on that passive listening. And just let it run. People might watch it in 2 or 3 sessions. I mean, and it's fine. Like I like my shows are like weekly and an hour long ish. I still have people going like I'm like 4 or 5 episodes behind because I can't keep up. And that's okay because I think that's the beautiful thing about podcasts. It's a little different for yours because yours is more relevancy based, weekly news and all that kind of stuff. But even when we were doing that, people just caught the episodes. If they saw a news story that they thought was interesting and they thought our opinions on it would be interesting, it's not so bad. So I think length of time is the last thing
to focus on.
You shouldn't even worry about it. Just do you, vibe, have a good time, and I honestly think, you know, once you get that like chemistry.
So we always get on the we always get the feed. We're always like getting feedback. So maybe I just need to stop stressing about it, because like I'm always glancing down at the clock. Even tonight, I'm like I'm like, this pup need to be somewhere. I know, but I'm also conscious of Whippy, because I know he's been up late. It's like, I don't want to be 2 hours. I'm just like, okay, but it's fine again, and that's why I'm still learning. It's like just find that balance between a good flow and, you know, I want to make sure that, you know, you get to have a good chat as well and flow into the games, and you know what I mean.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, don't stress, man. Just like produce something that you enjoy producing, and people will listen. Like I said, it's different. Podcasting is a very different world to live streams, to YouTube videos, again, because like I said before, the passive listening, so people aren't like actively dead focused on it, and they may even like there's been podcasts where I glass over half a conversation because I'm just like, I'm kind of in the zone, and like, I'll go back, because the second half of that I caught was really interesting. So yeah, I wouldn't like I've said, like some of the best podcasts, like they're 2-4 hours long. I don't know, like, I mean, they have like whole production teams, right?
Yeah,
like,
they do.
Behind them, and they just get on and do their thing, and everyone else does all the other work. But as long as it's within your means to produce, and you're enjoying doing it, just do it, man. Like,
no, it's pretty good. All good. Well, I'll have a chat with Pup off stream. Groups, thanks heaps for hanging out, man. It's awesome. But next Monday should be busier. I knew kind of tonight would be quiet because it was such a short turnaround. Like we even debated, like I said, we were debating even cancelling this week. I'm like, do we just? The guys were like, do we wait the week and do it next week and try and? I'm just like, no, it's going to be a short turnaround. We'll just do Monday, and it'll be every Monday from now on. We'll just do that.
But I mean, like Whippy was here for a bit, and like the other guys get a week off now. You know, I mean, sure, they had other things to deal with, and that's cool. But you know, gives them the break, and they can come back, and you've reset the week for them, and they don't have to stress about it. They can just come on and hang out. I think it'd be alright. Yeah, you love podcasts. I love podcasts too, Goobs. Like, the more I do them, the more I love them.
I'm loving it too.
Podcasts too, and I'm like, this is becoming a problem. I'm not getting time to produce my own.
I'm actually enjoying podcasting more than I enjoy videos or anything like that. It's just so fun. Like, and I think the reason being is like, I'll give you an example. Right? You all know I focus on Game Pass stuff for my YouTube channel, and it can just be disheartening when you spend so much time on a video. Like I take Cardo for example. I played Cardo. I hated it, so I probably recorded about 45 minutes footage, which I had to condense into about 4 minutes worth of footage. Record all the audio separate to that. You know, thumbnails. You know, you'd probably talk on 4 hours work or something, right? And it just, even though it's Game Pass, it's just because it's a small indie game, it just tanked on YouTube. Like, it just didn't do well at all. It's like, that's 4 hours of my time just gone. It's like, I could have been doing so many other things, like podcasting or something. You know what I mean? It's just like, I've lost you again. There you go.
This is something I got into with Bad Bit. Did I cut out? Did I?
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good now. You're good. I think it's when you just sit back more. It's all good now.
Yeah, it's my noise gate. Yeah, and this is something I talked about in my most recent episode, because he used to do YouTube previous to this, and like it's stressful. You have to, like, if you want to get anywhere, you've got to focus on negativity and really drive those clicks and focus on the algorithm. And there's a lot of mental game there that
brutal.
Just is and once you let it slip for a second, it's gone again, right? It's absolutely volatile, and I mean, there are people out there that are doing a fantastic job on YouTube, you know, and they're doing great things with, you know, positive videos, but like, you want to get clicks, you hit that negativity, and that's a gold mine, right? But then you're expected to do that, and then it kind of snowballs, and then he's like, you become like, just there's like hate and anger, and just it's stress, and you don't enjoy yourself doing it anymore, and that comes through. So in the end, you're kind of fucking yourself over anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, podcasts, like, you just put it, like, you don't even need to like do the TikToks and the Instagram. Like, you know, you do it because you love doing it, and you love doing the editing, and that's fine. But you don't need to. You just kind of
you don't need
put
to.
it out there and let it go. Because like podcasting, I think, as a content form, the modern version of podcasting, what we're seeing now, is only really just starting. I think it's going to grow. It's going to shrink a lot. You know, a lot of these podcasts started throughout. Hi, Train. Started through, you know, the lockdown and people looking for something to do. And a lot of these ones won't last. They'll get to like, you know, 15, 20 episodes, and they'll be like, this is hard. You know, I don't know what to talk about, or they're struggling with it, or they don't see those numbers go up. And that's a big one. They don't see like the immediate improvement. We're doing this every week. Why aren't people listening? Well, they see a drop.
Well, our audio does okay. I think it's. I think on our current trend, I see our live streams doing well. I know tonight was quiet. It was just because it was a short turnaround. But like I said, our live streams tend, aside from this week, our live streams tend to grow week over week. Everyone seems to love the live stream, which is fine. But obviously,
yeah.
some can't catch the live stream, so they then go to the. We find it's live streams, then they go to the VODs. So they'll message one at like Boo Boo or something. Go, oh, is the VOD up? I've had the same thing as oh, when's the VOD going up? But now that we use StreamYard, we don't even have to worry about that, because before we used to do the manual upload, it just does it itself.
Yeah.
So we don't care what numbers we pull on YouTube. It's the fact that now that as soon as this ends, it's going to turn into its own video on YouTube, and it's just there.
Yeah,
having said that, they'll catch the unedited version.
That's good. Hi for those listening. Welcome.
Hi, still listening past the episode.
This is post podcast. This is post podcast ponderings.
Yeah.
Welcome. This will now be going live on our Patreon server.
Yeah.
But Goobs is right too. A lot of people enjoy the video. You know, they see.
Yeah.
I mean, I make lots of visual references, even though I'm an audio platform, and that's why I kept doing the YouTube thing, because I'm like, I make lots of visual references. I'm meeting all these interesting people, and like, because you're seeing a slice of their life through the stories they're telling, you get that visual like of the background that might tell a few stories. Like, you know, they might have a cool poster on the wall that relates to something they're talking about, or they have some cool memorabilia. Winky and I were comparing first-gen consoles one time. There can be a lot of visual stuff, especially when you're meeting in a video format, because you don't really think about it. And that's good there for people that have that. I've noticed a definite divide when I started consistently uploading the video versions to YouTube and releasing them at the same time, because I used to stagger them. I do like the audio version on Wednesday and then the video version on Friday.
Oh, okay.
I'd stagger them intentionally. And the audio would always outperform the video. But now I've started doing them together, things have started to balance out a bit more. So I'm seeing, like, you know, I think like last week's episode, I had like 14 views on the YouTube, and then like, was it 20 or 30 in audio?
Yeah, so
normally
we're
that would
doing
all be audio.
We're doing a quick look here. Ours is like, I think because we're doing because of the short turnaround, it's a bit hard, because it's a bit, you know, people are going to be behind. Like, some might have not even watched episode 6 yet, and now there's an episode 7 going to bounce tomorrow in less than a week, so bit rough for people to keep up with. So, but like, so our last, our best episode yet was when we first brought the girls on. So Trish and Boo Boo, that was episode 4 that hit.
Honestly, though, I mean, I'm not sure if Boo Boo will hear or see this, but she was a fantastic addition. Really well spoken, really good at like just talking about games and stuff.
Yeah, that was the feedback we got. They really loved the girls. Yeah, so her and Trish are sisters, so they're both staying on. They really loved it. So that one picked up almost 30 downloads just for the audio alone. And after that, we are averaging around about 15 episodes. Having said that, like, I feel like we've done a lot. Like, we did episode 5, which was a short one. I can't even find that. Then like 2 days later, we did Gamescom. Now we've just done. Then Thursday last week we did episode 6. Now we're done. So there's just a lot. So this is, I think, for over the next 4 weeks, it's going to kind of start balancing things out where we're at. My YouTube channel picked up, I think, 30 odd views for the last episode. I don't do too much, but that's okay. That it's just recording, so I don't care. So the Couch Squad YouTube, it's just like the Couch Squad YouTube is like brand new, and it's got like 20 subs, and it just seems to struggle. I find.
Yeah, I've had YouTube. That with thumbs the entire man. They've had the YouTube.
Just doesn't go anywhere.
And I'm at like I think like 61 subs at the moment, and that's mostly and most of that has come within the last year of me doing what I've been doing. And I think honestly most of it's just the guests subscribing so they can watch later, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take those views. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah,
it's like
so,
we're posting reviews and stuff to that channel, and
it's
it's not this just doesn't do anything. It's like it doesn't. It's reviews that are going to people's personal channel. It was just an idea. I said, well, you're already posting a review to your own channel. I said, why not a week later we just chuck it up on this channel, on the Couch Squad channel? What's the worst happen? It gets 1,000 views and more traction for yourself. But it's not doing that at the moment anyway. We just don't. But we'll
yeah,
keep,
and
we'll keep
I think that's a unique thing you guys have to pull on, because you are a larger group and you're all creators. You have your own individual communities to kind of pull those first initial views in to help you push through the audio and video algorithms a little bit, which is handy.
Yeah.
And yeah, like you've got a lot of people to to base it on, which is always a good start.
Yeah. I'm gonna end the broadcast here though, just for these guys, just so it's less editing for Trish, because as nice it is, the more I continue, the more editing she's gonna do. So it's gonna be harder for her.
Gotta.
So yeah, live stream. We'll catch you guys next Monday, guys. Thanks heaps as always. Bye.